Ron, could you take the roll call, please?
Certainly. Koski, not here. Hutton,
Here.
Silver here. Split,
Here.
Raymer,
Here.
and Walker.
Here. Excellent, we have a quorum. Approval of tonight's agenda. We had an amended agenda and it was out in time. So I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended agenda.
I will second that. Motion by Steve to approve the amended agenda, second by Billy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of past minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ron, second by Billy to approve past minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Financial report.
I don't think anything changed.
No.
No, not from last month,
So I make a motion that we approve the financial report as written.
I'll second that. Okay, motion by Steve, second by Billy to approve the financial report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comments? Don't think there's anybody really here for public comment. Okay, we'll go right to the certificate of appropriateness applications for 117 Watson Street. And Ted Grant, the owner of the building, is here. If you'd like to just explain what your thoughts are, what you're gonna do, it'd be easier. Yeah.
So just looking at the application I gave you, a list of things to work on. Overall scope of the project would be new facade, retail space, openings on the first floor. On the apartment level, replace 3 apartment windows on the north half of the building, the old 115 Watson side, to match similar to the 117 side. I'm not sure if I have to change the trim around, but if I do, I would change it with like shaped material. But it is a 3/4 round molding in front of the window jamb. Might just be a half round, but I would make that similar to what would be replaced if something needs to be replaced. If I can get away with just sanding it down and painting it, I'll do that. Then tuck pointing the front of the building on the first floor on the pillars from sidewalk to the top of the beam. I would propose grinding out all the mortar and replacing from the beam to the roof, just replace as needed. Any damaged bricks would get replaced same time. The top 3 courses of brick, which are under the yellow line, are set back from the decorative brick and is causing a lot of water infiltration, leading to bricks breaking, some bricks falling out. So I'm proposing taking those top 3 courses off and putting on a stone cap that would be proud of the face of the building by about an inch, just to keep water from getting into the mortar lines. That would ultimately change the height of the building by about the height of 1 course of bricks. Then replacing storefront signage as pictured, and also possibly hopefully this summer, if I can get the financing for it, replacing the roof on at least this side. This side would probably come a year or 2 down the road. But that's just, unfortunately, it's gonna be tear off, replace a lot of the beams, new decking, insulation, new rubber, because a lot of the beams are, well, 13 consecutive beams are cut through for an old skylight. So there's nothing supporting about 16 feet of roof. It's kind of all just doing that. So between that and just old dried out beams, it's falling apart. So the roofing's going to be an expensive project. So I need financing for that. Overall timeline for the project is anticipated for this year, all the tuck pointing, replacing the 3 windows, and replacing this opening this year. This opening cannot be done until all remodeling on the inside is done, which there's a big project plan for the back of the building, which would probably be about 2 years down the road, so this window would be at the end of that project. Because I cannot empty this side of the storefront to fix the front without having the back done, because all the retail stuff is gonna have to go into that back side of the building. So it's a long, phased project. So that's the overall project. The only signage here that I'm not sure about is gonna be above the windows. I don't have a design picked out for that. If you want me to bring something back to you for approval on that portion, I'm more than happy to do it when I come up with a design.
Discussion from anyone and everyone.
I have a question on the site. Are you inking this handicapped accessible?
Yes.
Okay, and doesn't this ooze out over the sidewalk?
That is something I will have to get approval for from the building inspector and probably zoning appeals. There is, the step for this side is already out over the sidewalk, but this, extending this ramp portion would be new. I've also had discussions with Alan at Public Works about possibly splitting the sidewalk so that the ramp would be in front of the building and not here. So this would just be flat. So that way I could get handicap access to both doors. And we're actually kicking around the idea of including neighbors as well. If they want to get handicap access, we could come up with a system that would work for neighbors as well. But that is a long-term 2 to 5 year discussion.
Yeah, that's not in the,
But in the short term, like I said, this side would be done 2 years from now, likely. So in 2026 is what I anticipate doing this opening. So I have time to figure out this ramp or raising the sidewalk. But with this ramp, I would have to have a handicap electric door button mid-ramp or at the end of the ramp, so I don't need to have another 4-foot landing at the top. Otherwise, this door has to be pushed back another 4 feet, which would be terribly inconvenient.
I have a couple concerns with the front facade of, I'll just call it the left building, the north one, Watson Street Ware, and actually on the other one too. I feel that the height of the, what I would call the kick plate, the portion of the building from where the stone sill would be to the bottom of the front windows seems excessively high. And then my other concern would be changing, right now, the storefront is a center entrance. And now you're gonna change it to the right inset entrance.
Correct.
And I'm worried that maybe the state would look at it and all of a sudden it's a non-conforming building.
Well, I have several evidence to dispute that.
Okay.
There are several buildings in Appleton that are on the state register that fit this layout. almost to a T.
Okay,
And there are 20 examples of this layout in our own downtown.
okay,
And those 20 are on various buildings. I have a sheet here. 5 of them were remodeled in the last 10 years and were approved. So just pictures of the 20. You got the old State Farm, old one, Campus Cinema. Modern Easton was done within the last 5 years, door on the side. And it's actually almost the exact same layout as the old Watson Street with the apartment door. D&D Associates is an older one. Kunkel Associates, or Kunkel Accounting is an older one. Sven's, that's a really old one. Patina V has it on the side, that's recent. Back Porch Gatherings has it on the side. Knuth Brewing Company is actually the former one. Looks almost exactly like my layout, including windows width and placement. And Craig actually said I should try to model my design off of 2 buildings. This was one of them, doors on the side. There's 19 on Watson Street and 1 on West Fond du Lac as well. That's the West Fond du Lac. So like I said, 20 examples of that configuration in our own downtown.
my concern was that I don't know what those other ones, if they were to the side to begin with, when they were put to the side, could have been 30 years ago, I don't know. Some of the newer ones may have, been done because it was already to the side. This one is a good example of a center entry. Both of them are, and I personally just like it that way, but, open for discussion.
The center entry, particularly on that building, makes it impossible for me to get anything longer than 4 feet into that building. Because the walls on the inside from that floor plan are already in place. The showroom is already built. And if I center the door, I cannot get anything in.
And then the kick plate.
The kick plate height?
Yeah.
For that, I went through downtown checking other places. I have other examples. This kick plate is 36 inches. And there's only one that's that high, or 2 that are that high in downtown. One's on Roadhouse, which is fairly newly remodeled. And that's exactly the same height I'd be looking for. And the height to the sidewalk is 45 inches from the sill to the sidewalk. Another one is on 110, that's 110 Scott Street, where this is 43 inches from the floor line to the sill and 68 inches from the sill to the sidewalk. Other ones, Sensational Smile is a 30-inch sill to floor. Patina V is 28 sill to floor, but 57 to the sidewalk. Gents is 24-inch from the sill to the floor, 46 to the sidewalk, plus a 4-inch window frame. So the glass actually starts at 50 inches from the sidewalk. Muggs is 32 inches sill to floor. Revive is 30 inches sill to floor. Suki's 30 inches. I'm proposing 36, so it is at the higher end, but it is a clear example of many different heights. Some of them going.
And a lot of them were, like Gents, that was an original, at 20,
Right.
I had measured it at 28 inches high.
Right.
So that was original.
And I will point out that the openings on both of these buildings, neither one is original. On my current entrance, that's from about 1908. And the one on Watson Street where is 1963.
Is that the door or the actual inset on there?
What's that?
Is that the inside that's already there, or is just the door that you're talking about is 1963?
The whole front wall,
Okay, with
with the
granite
marble
or marble or
and
whatever
marble
that is
glass,
down
I would
upper glass,
imagine
all as
there. Yeah, I
1963.
think that was done.
Yeah.
So neither one of these is original.
What we're trying for is to get the look of the old, and I'm not saying you have to go to the old, but the proportion is what bothers me, is that kick plate is too high and the glass is too short, and it doesn't quite look aesthetically pleasing.
That's your opinion.
Yes, it is, in my opinion.
In my opinion, this is aesthetically pleasing.
If we want to go to, take averages, you stated most of them are 30 inches or less.
The one, yes,
Roadhouse is higher.
Roadhouse is 30.
Those openings on that building on the corner were already probably there. And they just filled in what was there. I don't know what you said that height even was on that last one.
43 from sill to floor.
So I know there's differences, and different commissions pass different plans. I'm just looking at this one, and my concern is I don't want to pass something and the state comes around, because they're going to review the plans, eventually they review them, and then they may say that it's non-conforming. And then I don't like that idea that we pass something and it's non-conforming.
Do we know what kind of material you're using underneath? Do you have will that come next, or is that
That should be in the project description, the materials.
I'm between two materials, either a PVC that's painted, or I'm going back to my original plan after seeing this picture and going with a white oak that's stained. I'm not sure where this building is, but somewhere in the US. And my design is going to be a fairly similar look to that, as far as construction goes.
Do you have a company for the tuck pointing?
I have one quote back, waiting for a second.
Okay. And there are companies in the area or somebody that we would know?
One is east of Fond du Lac, and the other is, I believe, Richland Center.
Okay.
But the one from Richland Center does pretty much everything out at the Green Lake Conference Center now. So it works locally. And he has done stuff in Ripon as well, but I'm not sure which ones.
Not to put you on the spot, but Craig, how do you feel about this?
Ted and I had a conversation, and I think I don't like the design, but I told him I would check with the state. I haven't heard back from the State Historic Society. I do have a letter from Joe Wanazak, the state design person at WTC, and he was also critical, did not like thought some portions were out of scale. Ted and I had a long conversation, and I mentioned that I get the door placement and some of those things. It may not be what I like, but I think from a functional perspective, what I'd like to see is compromise. And I do have 3 suggestions. If you want to hear that.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, but just wait.
That's the reason I asked.
I was wondering, suggested that compromise would be in that height.
The kick plate part?
The kick, yeah.
Yeah,
And how that would.
okay.
And the only other question I have
Oh,
for
yeah, that's,
Ted, your door that you're putting in Watson Street, where,
Yes.
how far does that go to that wall? Since you can't go 48,
I believe it's between 4 and 5 feet.
so it's
But I
gonna
think
be
it's
the
closer to
same as
4.
having 4 foot as we already have already. It's just that there's another door there in the
It
center.
lines up with the door.
Yeah.
this stays the same, this stays the same, and you went up here. Third,
Proportions all stay the same except
32 inches instead of 36,
going to a 24-inch kick plate.
24 and then fours.
And
fours.
the other thing, I do
Thank you.
think the 206 Watson storefront renovation is the best renovation that we've done. So looking at that, and that's the 208, but the proportions are still decent. So if possible, so the three recommendations, reducing the height of the kick plate, changing the column width, if possible, to 10 inches, to 6 rather than 10. And also, some of those side, or the center columns, changing those to 4 inches on the sides. It depends on whether there's structure underneath.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. And Ted, do you know what's underneath those?
Is there a lintel of any kind under the bottom? Probably not.
No.
Shouldn't really be a lintel there.
And the thought process with the 24-inch kick plate or bulkhead, it still should be high enough that the windows would not have to be safety glass unless Ted wanted to switch them out to safety glass.
Safety glass is 3 feet.
Yeah, I've been told it's 24.
That is, from my understanding, that is an exclusion for historic districts. I'm not looking for any exclusions on this. I want to bring it up to full code.
And the other thing is with the height of where the bulkhead starts, if you do 36, it's not 48 inches, but it's close to 48 inches. It's just a very high bulkhead that you don't live forever, that the next use, it'd just be a high display.
Yeah, to me, the drawing, I mean, it's night and day with the drawing with that kick plate lower. And I understand the door,
So you're actually lowering it 14 inches, not 12.
14.4, and
Because you're going from the glass to this floor as 24 inches, not the sill.
No, the kick plate would be 24 inches.
Right. No, well, no, the kick plate is,
So it's 4 inches top width, 4 inches bottom rail, 14 inches for weather wainscoting, and then also a 2-inch top plate that the window would actually sit on.
so that's not, the 2 inches is not the window frame.
No,
Okay,
no, the window would start above that 2-inch.
I understand.
So that would be a sill, basically.
A
Basically, the
thick
windows-
sill.
The window's gonna be
Yeah.
72 instead of,
Right.
yeah, instead of 60 inches.
And by shrinking these columns, I'm less concerned about shrinking the 10-inch columns down to 6 than I am about the ends going down to 4. Because if I use LVLs for interior wall strength, I'm going to need 2 layers at 1 3/4 inches, so it's 3.5, plus the trim on top of that, it's gonna be another inch, because I'm gonna be using thick, most likely, be using 1-inch white oak.
Sure. And actually, doing everything at 6 would also balance.
I could consider doing everything at 6. The issue there is, where does the extra dimension end up?
Probably inside your doorway.
In the doorway?
In that, yeah,
Inside the opening.
in the opening,
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. Right there.
that would be.
so it widens the doorway by 8 inches. Which is currently at 52. So, yeah, that goes up to, that's fine. It's 5 feet wide. I could consider that, absolutely. Yeah, I'm certainly happy to change the width of the columns. In the back of my head, I was thinking about doing that anyways.
What about the height of the kick plate?
Height of the kick plate I have an issue with, because inside the building, on this side, the intention was to have standard counter height cabinetry in behind these windows as a work surface. This is a mail receiving room, so a work surface for people to sort their mail and so on. If I go below the 36 inches, I mean, I could, if you're open to a compromise, to 32 inches or possibly 30, I could get away with a low counter, which would be kind of inconvenient, but my shorter customers wouldn't mind. But I would like to still have a counter behind the windows, and I don't want the back of that cabinetry showing in the glass.
Before we take a vote on this, would it be prudent for us to wait for what the state would have to say?
Well, this,
Or wouldn't these plans be submitted to the state anyway?
I don't think these get submitted to the state because it
Yeah.
is exterior.
And it's my understanding that the district is registered with the state, but not the individual buildings. My building has no notes on its title.
Your building is listed as a contributing building in the district.
But there's no restrictions on my title.
Probably.
Okay.
This was done back in 1990. The other thing I'd recommend is looking at true exterior poly ash, material that it's a little bit better than the PVC or the ASIC. It doesn't. Do
Okay,
as much.
if I go the plastic route, I would definitely consider that.
It's more of a fly ash material.
Yeah.
It doesn't rot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But after finding that this image here, I am seriously considering going back to my original plan, which was white oak and staining, because that is a beautiful building.
Yeah, that is.
And properly stained white oak should survive for 100 years. Stained and sealed. It will take more upkeep, but I'm willing to do it. But if I do go the plastic route, I will definitely ask you for information on that material, because I don't like working with PVC anyways.
Craig, this Joseph Lawn is that? What's his title at the state?
So he's with the NWDC, downtown department so he works a lot with Main Street communities and connected communities. He's their design specialist.
Okay,
Joe does all the vendors across the state.
okay. Because just reading, and I didn't read this really close, but in his letter, he said talking about the storefront, the one on the left, the one they're proposing on the left wouldn't meet code anyway, since they would need at least 18 inches on the pull side of the door. So that deep square entry recess would need to be probably 12 to 14 inches wider. So we'll have to add, that would be something Sue Leahy would have to,
To be in the width of the landing?
in that, the left side where the pole is,
Okay.
needs to
So
be at
if we,
least 18 inches.
if we take this column width
If
down,
From 10 to 6, you.
that would solve that problem.
Yeah,
You did that already, right? Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know if it shows,
Actually, I don't think
All right.
I don't know if it shows the 18 inches.
yeah, I didn't downsize, so it's not 6 inches in scale, it's still a 10 inch, I just,
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right.
not to scale.
Yeah. So that would be something that
So you
we
could size that down?
Yes.
would have to make sure.
And I'll confirm it with Sue, but if I need to take these glass down from 63 inch wide down to 60 or 62 to accomplish that wider landing,
Like 30 was your max?
what's,
30?
no, I mean the width of these.
Oh,
If I need a wider landing for the
Yeah.
door,
Yeah.
I currently have drawn 63 inch wide glass.
Yeah.
If we bring that down to 62 or 61 to get the wider landing.
Scoot everything over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Grab a pen, make some notes.
his other concern was the double door. He doesn't feel that is appropriate. And his suggestion was to have them keep the existing storefront windows and center entrance where they are, but revise the angle, and then put the double doors in the center.
and Joe is a purist, which is why I suggested,
Mhm.
preservation should be compromised.
Right, right.
And by keeping the current entrance centered, I think hurts the balance of the building. Treating this as one building, which it was built as one building, having both sets of doors pushed to the center keeps the balance. And if the door is centered, I would lose functionally about 12 by 10, so 120 square feet of showroom space. Because if the door is centered, those side windows are absolutely useless for showroom, which they currently are useless right now.
It's good to get, that guy from, that Joseph's ideas on it. So we're not thinking that was just us.
right. The other thing too is he recommends that you, I know this is a hard one, but save the windows that are in the front of the other building, in your original
They're
building.
already broken.
Yeah.
Probably are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's, I get it, they're beautiful transoms, but there's 2, not 3.
The third one was never found when we remodeled the building in '97. One of the two is held together with caulk, and the other one is held together with gravity. The leading's all shot.
Well, I guess that solves that problem.
And his last comment on, as for signage, is way too much. I'm gonna have to go to Sue Leahy on that also, and,
Yeah, I think Joe's take is that it's not, he's not just referring to the overhead storefront sign. His comment was some of the other additional signage and the marketing kind of stuff.
and I don't know exactly what our signage code states for windows, if we can cover the entire window, or if it's
No,
only.
we
So
can't.
it's 3 square feet per linear foot, and you take if you have a 2-foot tall sign, you get, you have 1 foot per linear foot left over, that you can use for window signs and that kind of stuff.
So what you're saying then it couldn't have where it says to be designed later, you couldn't, that would be too much with it on the glass?
I haven't had things like
Okay, I see, yeah.
I have 44 linear feet of building. They said 3 square feet per linear foot. So total signage would have to be limited to 132 square feet. And I'm definitely under that.
So, we're back to your compromise, you would be willing to compromise on the width of the columns,
Definitely.
but you don't like the 24-inch kick plate.
I don't like it, no. Like I said, if we could go to 32, down from the 36, I could make it functional. Any lower than 32, it no longer becomes functional.
And I do think it's important, as if you renovate both storefronts, you keep both bulkheads the same. So I don't think it's make one 32 and one 24. I think it's.
Well, that
should
makes
be the
perfect
same thing
sense.
across.
And I'm trying to design this to look like one building, because it is one building. It was built in 1861 as one building.
So there was never a masonry wall in between?
I've found at least 3 doorways that were cut in that masonry wall originally. There was two stores run by brothers, but built as one building. So there is a masonry wall, but it always has had penetrations that have since been blocked up.
Well, for me to look at, I would personally like to see a different drawing at the 32 inches then, so I could look at the scale of it.
Well, to compromise, could we do 30? But you said 30 wouldn't work. That's both of us compromise.
30 would be a very low counter and I'd have to redesign, but I would figure out a way around it.
Because how tall is the window framing? Is that window framing, is that?
The total opening,
No, so you're gonna have aluminum
the aluminum's 2 inches.
2 inches. So that would be, so you get an extra 2, so it's already 26. So you're getting close to,
I mean, a low counter is 32 inches, a standard counter is 35 and change.
That's going right up against the window then, right?
If the bulkhead is, or the kick plate is 30 inches, the counter would be flush with the top of the aluminum frame at a 32-inch counter, which
So you
is
wouldn't see it.
not, you wouldn't see it, but people would be able to accidentally push their stuff right into the glass because there wouldn't be any backsplash, so it's not ideal. But if you're willing to approve at 30, I can find a way to make something work.
and what I'd recommend is then just increase the 14-inch opening proportionally. Maintain the 4-inch styling rail.
And I'd be happy to work with you on correct proportioning.
I'd be happy to do that.
And I'm probably leaning more towards raised panel as opposed to the wainscoting that's drawn. Again, going back to this picture.
Yeah, I would recommend that.
I would too.
That is a gorgeous building.
That's from another
It is.
town.
But the maintenance on it's gonna be interesting,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to spar varnish that baby and all sorts of things.
I'm looking into ship finish, so a high quality
Okay.
marine sealant. If I go this route. If it's 10 times the price, I may have to go back to the painted.
So none of this is
Composite.
permanent, the way it's gonna be, it's kinda like what you might feel like at the moment, right? I mean,
Well,
if we approve something or
The
say
shape-
something like
the
this,
shape is-
all of a sudden.
the shape
price
is,
can change.
the shape is what you approved tonight.
Okay,
The only change to the drawing would be wainscoting to raised panel.
that's what I meant.
And I can make that decision tonight that I would go to raised panel.
So I wonder if we should, let's just say we would approve the 3 windows and the tuck pointing tonight. And then after the drawing is redone, or a written down list of, that the kick panel will be raised panel and columns will be as close to as 4 inches and 6 inches as possible, then it comes back to us, and then we know exactly what we're approving.
That would make perfect sense.
Yeah,
And
I
that way,
agree, yeah, I don't
Craig
get
and
tech point,
everybody
okay,
can
window,
draw it,
okay,
yeah.
and be more specific.
Craig, are you able to help me with the drawing?
Yes.
all right,
I no longer have the software to do it.
Or we could
I have
just not approve this tonight, and then when he comes back with the drawings, we approve it all at one time.
how soon do you wanna start tuck point?
Whenever the
Tomorrow?
contractor's.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be weather related.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, you know, we don't wanna hold you up on
Right.
that, or the windows, or.
Correct.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be accomplished even before, I would think. But
Well,
that's me
and
talking.
just like
I
the
don't-
windows,
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not asking for a vote then, but if you can give me some assurances that with what we've discussed tonight, with those redrawn, if you feel that it's highly likely that that will get passed at the next meeting, we could do it all at once.
And might I suggest that we don't have to wait 4 weeks for another meeting,
no,
so.
no, we don't. We've had special meetings
We can have a
before.
special
Oh,
meeting.
we just need to
So
post it.
I think I can get the drawing done next week.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, work all right for you.
Really putting me out.
Yeah,
Is this a side hustle for you?
I wish.
so, yeah, I'm all for another meeting.
That sounds okay with me.
Yeah, that should be what we need to vote on it.
Vote on having another meeting, or,
Well, or, yeah, agreeing with what we're talking about.
I just think we don't need to take, well, we need to vote in favor, against,
or the table.
or I don't know if we can table.
Table,
Postpone.
I would postpone.
Postpone, yeah.
On further
Drawings,
submission.
yeah.
That's the only stipulation we have right now.
Right.
We're good with the rest?
Oh, the windows, yeah, because they have to fit the
windows,
openings
yeah, they
and the
open
tuck
the
pointing.
tuck pointing. The capping.
The capping, and he's gonna lose a row of brick, or it's gonna drop down a little bit.
I don't think they really said.
No, I would.
I don't think so either.
No, and I agree that it should be done because that's what happens when that water gets in there, it freezes that
and
stuff.
yeah.
pops, yeah.
Roadhouse, that whole wall popped off.
Yeah, I know.
And so did
Yeah, the cinema.
Fox River Glove.
Fortunately, I've only had one brick come down to the sidewalk so far.
Well, that's one too many.
And it was in the middle of the night.
Which is good, but, yeah, that's what happens. They freeze and then they pop out. If you can stop it, it would happen.
So looking at my schedule for the rest of the month, it gets really nutty after next week. I don't know if it's possible to rediscuss this.
On the 10th, if you want to stick to a Wednesday.
Yeah, because Tuesday there's council meeting.
Yeah,
Just check one thing that hasn't firmed up on my calendar yet. Yeah, 10th, evening of the 10th is open.
Same time, 6:30?
If Does 6:30 work for everybody?
Sure, on a Wednesday, it works for me.
Okay.
I'm just used to it.
So if I can make some notes to be prepared for next week. I don't need to do anything about roof replacement
No.
or changing to a stone cap.
No.
Tuck pointing straightforward. Upper windows is good. So it's really just the openings. And on that, getting the 18-inch swing clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller pillars or columns.
Yeah.
And are we going to a 30-inch kick plate?
I'll be fine with this 30.
And also find out from the,
It'll be 28 plus the 2 inches of the,
Yes.
so finish at with your.
So the glass is at 30?
30.
Glass starts at 30.
Glass at 30.
Yeah.
I was thinking kick plate at 30, glass at 32. So the sill is at 30.
Well, I like it's the smaller the better, but that's up to everybody on the commission.
Well, I like the looks of this,
I do too, yeah.
and we're so close to it by inch, but
So this drawing and this drawing are 30 inches would be right between them.
yeah, and the only other thing I would like to know is if the city engineer or whoever is in charge of the sidewalk thing is okay with ramp coming out as far as it does, you know, for the accessibility.
Do you know where like
Because I know,
On-
I've seen that
on that
before.
on that block where there's the concrete with a cut
Right,
that comes out to that cut, which if on the 200 block people are well past that cut.
Yeah, I guess we're not,
That's an
we can't decide on that
well, no, that's
sidewalk,
why I
but
said
yeah, somebody's
somebody from the city should look
Yeah.
at that because of the width of the sidewalk, and I know everybody gets, you know, they get upset, you know, when people start narrowing sidewalks, and that'd be a beautiful skateboard thing.
Yeah.
That'll be the first one I'll make.
Sure.
Anyway, knowing kids, that'd be something that I'd like to see you investigate anyway, and make sure it's okay to do that. If
Okay.
that's okay with everybody.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I've had conversation with Alan at Public Works.
Oh, yeah,
He didn't see an issue with it. Are you asking me to check with Sue Leahy?
I would check with both, and the reason is because, well, Craig plows that, right? For snow,
Yeah.
that's not gonna be a problem for you, right?
You know, if it's like this, no.
And-
If it's 2 levels, you know, we just get rid of the program.
Okay.
So,
And I will say you never plow as close to my building as this step is gonna be,
yeah.
because there's currently a step there.
All right, well, I'm just looking into the future for stuff, that's all. Okay, well, shall we vote on having a meeting then, on the 10th?
I make a motion that we meet on Wednesday, the 10th.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Billy, seconded by Ron, to postpone the certificate of appropriateness application until April 10th at 6:30.
And you also want it drawn with the raised panel.
Yes.
Yes. And the other thing too is, what was I gonna say? I'm getting old.
Get it?
I'm old.
I got you beat.
All right, I know you do, by a little bit. Anyway, oh, just hold it, yeah, let's do that. Oh, not to restrict him from doing tuck pointing or anything, can we,
It won't be an issue in the next
that
week.
won't be an, okay.
I'm still waiting for a bid.
All right, well, like you say, we just don't wanna hold you up on something just in case you say, I can do it right now.
Yeah. Okay, everybody understand the motion?
Yes,
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Craig.
Okay, we can go to the update on 107.5 Watson Street. That was the window non-compliance. And I haven't heard any more than what I heard last month, is that they've been ordered, and when they come in, they're gonna schedule it and replace them. That's all I got on that. Southwest Historic District signage, the sign design discussion, and I think Adam had a sign right here. Yes.
Yes.
Here's a sign. We have like
How many did you say?
18-ish. You can have these to put wherever you want.
Okay.
We never got
So
a gift.
so the downtown signs are identical to that, but they're much larger. We had ordered these, and the bracket was a little too tall. We had to make the sign a little bit bigger for the downtown. So we have, there's only a few $100, so we have these here down at Public Works. They can be installed wherever you want to install them, if you want to use them. If you don't like the design or you want to have something else designed, that's up to you all, but they are in stock, ready to go on toppers or on poles, wherever you would so choose. And we could get you the toppers for you to install. We could help install. Obviously, if you do it yourselves, we want to make sure you do it safely. But you know, it's just up to you how you would like to proceed. They're nice. They don't have like obviously like the name of the district,
Yeah.
but
I like it, I love it.
I don't know if you
That's
want to
good.
go that far. So it would be a consistent look throughout the community then as well. And it's just up to you if you want to, if you
Yep.
want them.
You have, what, 18 of them, you said?
I think so. Yeah, and we can get more
18, yeah.
quickly.
So we could spread our district out,
You can go.
where we had it kind of drawn out.
Yeah, Matt had
all the,
Yep.
Information.
and then we can figure
Yeah,
out.
the only thing would be the mounting of some of the signs, because if you look at the way the signs are already set on the poles,
You may have to, yeah,
you
like,
might have to have a modification on that instead of having
Yeah.
the base like this.
Set screws in the base.
I wonder if they make.
I'm sure we can
a
order.
three-
they make toppers.
Like
make all
a
kinds.
sandwich type thing, you
Yeah.
know, to go on top of the existing signs.
Yeah. They make all kinds of,
Yeah, well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Yeah, they make
the way
them out
this
of
is, it's
copper.
not gonna work, you
if
know.
we got these
But
for
we
free, we
can-
could buy those,
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So cost wise.
Or we can use them some way out, or some other place.
Yeah.
I just want one for the front of my 26th, would that be appropriate?
Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
Radiator cap.
I like them. I think
I
they're,
would tell them.
I think they're fine. I think they'd
If
be
you want them,
easy
you
to
can
see.
have them.
Well, the price is right.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
And even
Right.
if we had to change some kind of, we actually have some money now where we can do
We-
that.
For the mounting kit
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have to second, when we second that, we keep them?
Yeah, we could,
We just have to figure out time to figure out where they're gonna go.
where they're gonna go. Yeah.
Do we have that on next meeting? Can we put that on the next
Sure.
meeting?
Sure.
Mhm.
Or Matt's back and he has the,
Yeah.
Has the map.
Where and when.
now,
And you said there were like 18 of these.
Yeah, I gotta check, but yeah,
So-
there's quite a few. Because we have extra. And if you need to order more, we can certainly order them quickly.
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
That'll be fine, yeah.
That's a nice looking sign.
Yep. Okay, number 10, is there any more discussion on the sign? Everybody's
All done.
yeah, okay. design manual. I had a brief conversation with Craig on the design manual, and going by what he kind of suggested, we should just use what we have right now until the day is that we have money to redesign one.
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean,
There's a few,
There's some sections that we can get rid of.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
outdated.
that are outdated.
the Landscaping section, there's a couple different things.
so I think that kind of brings that to the end right now.
Well, that would make sense, like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
because if we can update or just eliminate some of the wording in there that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I knew when I was on this commission before, we worked on that thing for months and months and months and looked at all sorts of different ones, and it took a long time.
Yeah.
And we'll have a tech visit next year with the state. It's possible that we can bring somebody in and help us to redo the guidelines. At least, it wouldn't be like hiring somebody, but it's not gonna cost us anything to go with the tech visit. So we actually just tweak things.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Craig.
We're done with that, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Haas Brewery barn discussion, and it's open for discussion, and I'm still just contacting salvage companies. I did get a hold of Wisconsin Reclamation Project, which is Justin Coots, who used to be on the corner of Blackburn and Jackson Street. He's gonna be sending me names of the people that he uses. So hopefully by next month, I'll have a couple more names, and maybe somebody will show an interest to just look at it. We're not even thinking of salvaging it yet, we're just want somebody to look at it that
And
has
the other thing
experience.
too is in the last paper, somebody wrote an article,
Yes, right.
you know,
That's why I wanna
maybe
make sure.
somebody, even though it's in a floodplain, will step up to the plate
Yeah.
if they're really that concerned. You know, somebody in the public, and hate to say it, but take it over.
Yeah,
But, you know, at least,
If somebody's
There's
willing
an
to do
option.
that,
I know.
you know, there's always somebody should do something about it, but then nobody does anything,
Right.
so.
but I just
Yeah.
want people to know we don't have any plan right now to tear it down. But
Yeah.
if, we just need people to look at it and see if it is viable to, in the future, if it would happen.
But we just know the bottom line, when it's gone,
Mhm.
that's all.
Yes.
And it's a diamond in the rough, but it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Definitely
definitely
rough.
maybe it's a ruby, not a diamond.
It's closer to coal than
I wanted to say it's worse than sapphire, what's on the bottom here?
Yeah.
Humans are going.
Yeah, because you weren't here, so he didn't hear a lot about it.
Yeah, well, we're just thinking about worst case scenario with that barn, that we don't want it to collapse into the creek, and then you just come in and you're just pulling it out. If it gets to the point where we need to take it down, we want a salvage company to do it, and then the wood could be reused. So that's our thoughts. We're not thinking of taking it down, but just
The
looking-
options are not good,
Yeah.
money-wise, it's all money.
Did you fix the door on there? The
No,
little
it's
service
your
door?
turn.
Oh, somebody fixed it.
I didn't fix it.
I didn't take it.
Oh, we got elves.
I thought we had it screwed.
Well, maybe somebody with the city did.
The one on this side?
The little one, the little
One of the.
Yeah.
access door that's
Oh,
on
no,
this side.
I didn't.
We pushed it shut pretty
Maybe
tight.
there's squatters in there. Squatter, yeah.
We pushed that door shut pretty tight the last time we were
We
there.
screwed it.
Yeah, well, the hinge was popped off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see somebody fixed it, so.
well, that's good.
Thank you, whoever you were.
Yeah.
I think Public Works went down there.
Squatter. Okay, next is new commission members, and we will wait to hear from the mayor on his appointments whenever that comes. So I'll keep that on the list,
Would you
on the
like to?
agenda.
Can we just make a mention of something? So Regarding the commission makeup, so essentially the current ordinance states that there shall be 7 members of the commission, that they all need to be residents, and that 1 commission member needs to be on the planning commission, and 1 planning commission member needs to be representative from the district in which there's a designation. So the only district that designated is the downtown. The current makeup, generally speaking, I think, John, you kind of wear semi 2 hats in that you're planning commission and downtown district representative. It also says resident. We were reviewing the committee structures and some of the ordinances. There are committees that we have that are still in ordinance that don't even exist. So we got to clean some of this up. So we're looking at historic preservation. There's discussion about changing the resident requirement to say resident or a property owner within a designated district. So there's someone that could not be a resident of the city who is in a designated district that could be appointed to this commission, right?
Oh, the town owner or?
Yeah, like if somebody may live a block outside of the city limits but own 3 buildings downtown, or, and they can't serve on the commission, but they may have a good understanding of things. The other thing was moving away from the designation of a planning commission member and having it codified as 2 council members, because that's currently what we're doing. We have 2 common council members, it would then be 5 citizen members. So removing the planning commission requirement, because it really doesn't, it doesn't really, I get why you would want that on some level from a planning perspective, but it just, I think codifies, there's council, so we can certainly share this ordinance with the commission next month if you want to see that and make a recommendation. But we were just trying to clean it up and try to make it a little more efficient and reflective of what this board actually currently is versus, what the ordinance says, because it doesn't require council members to be on here, but we have to, so. And that's, I don't know, John, if that's traditionally been the case. It's always been 2 council members. Has it always been like that, or has it just been?
It hasn't always been 2 council
No.
members. No. I know the planning commission was always in that ordinance.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think so.
But I don't think,
Yeah, and I was on the plan commission when I was chair here.
And for a while, it was what, Aaron Becker?
Aaron Becker
yeah,
was there.
and then I was on a little bit with Aaron, yeah. So there,
I think it's just been recently that we had it too.
yeah,
So it's something to consider.
right.
And actually, if you could change that residential status.
Yeah, I do like that, because I think we got out of town.
You have Scott Mary.
Yeah.
You have Ken Schmidt, who was doing some renovations. Neither of those live in the city.
Yeah.
They'd both be great if they would be willing to do it.
This may broaden the pool.
Right, everything helps, yeah.
Yeah, I live in one of Ken's properties, so.
Okay.
You do?
Yeah, I live at 129 East Jackson.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pat was living there, and then she moved out, so then I took over. Yeah, that's a nice place.
You have the one at the coop?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I love that,
Very cool.
Well, you're close to Reds.
yeah.
Good or bad?
When the wind's blowing right, I can smell that back room.
Oh,
I couldn't believe, well, I just couldn't believe she had to live there. It's just like, okay. Because she told me where she was.
I gotta look at the next date of our meeting. I do have,
The 10th.
I got an email from Adam that next month agenda also should include, the State of Wisconsin Historical Society sent us, and they want us to review the Little White Schoolhouse application to the federal and state again. So we will do that next month. It's May 1st. It's Wednesday, May 1st.
Okay, but we're gonna have a meeting prior to that on the 10th anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to put on the agenda for next month? Any ideas?
There's plenty already.
Okay,
Let's get through this one.
yeah. Okay, just need an adjournment. Anybody make a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ron, seconded by Billy to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.